Our analysis indicates that a 9-month head start is possible if the currency maintains its downward trend and interest rates fall further. As a result, it could launch it further than anticipated. Although we have no idea what the future holds, it does not appear that this year will mark the conclusion of the cycle. Yeah. Despite their differences, all cycles are same. It seems like a lot of the comments are coming from people still smarting from the past cycle, something we all experienced. Most people who watch my program want to know when the price of XRP will reach its highest point. When will XRP be worth what? When do you think this will be completed? What are some ways we can make the most of this? These are questions that people ask me incessantly on a daily basis. Well, today we have the esteemed Raoul Pal and Jamie Coots on board to walk us through the process and provide us with invaluable insights into the past bull runs. As previously stated, the interfering factors this time around include the scar tissue from the prior cycle. Feel free to hit that like button. I hope the video reaches everyone. Now, let's begin. Consider it from a high level. After all, we all want to know if it's ended yet. Is the end of the world inevitable? So what's the plan? Are these the incorrect tokens? Yeah, there is a great deal of need to provide reassurance and comfort to those who are afraid to venture out into the space. So I suppose we begin at the most basic level, which is, like, where are we? Oops. Yeah. We can discuss things like market psychology, consider each cycle to be unique while still being identical. A lot of the commentary that is coming through right now feels like it's a result of the scar tissue from the past cycle, which we all felt. Yes, I think so too. There is now a 4-year cycle. When this happens, it must stop. So it will, previous cycle, it was like to the moon and back because nobody was monitoring it or really understanding it. But there were individuals like you who were able to get a grasp on it. Additionally, it was quite early. No, I was mistaken about thinking there was still one more leg in the last cycle, and I failed too. Well. For that reason, it seems like everyone has cut this cycle short. You don't need it. There are credible frameworks that should indicate that this is the moment when things start to get, peakish. However, the usual business cycle has not occurred, and very few individuals perform the kind of research that you and Julian undertake. As a result, the foundation that Real Vision and GMI have built is severely lacking in other places, but that's just how it feels. This is only a natural reaction to the market telling us that we should be reaching our top performance right now. It's been fascinating to observe the commentary circulating on Twitter and other platforms, as well as among our members, about the topic at hand. Market psychology and its manifestations in the market are something that has always captivated me. What I find most intriguing is that the liquidity cycle aspect is now well recognized, and how that will affect future results, even though we believe there is still more work to be done. In addition, such objects are the ones about which we know very little, but I think it's crystal evident from this framework that we still have a ways to go. I must mention that we have already discussed my Bitcoin cycle risk framework and the indicators that I have been developing for topping. I mean, they aren't yelling euphoria at me. It's clear that the Bitcoin chart is showing signs of trend weariness and fundamental degradation. I brought this up in my last report with Raoul. My guess is that this is more of a result of the shift towards higher beta cryptocurrencies like Ethereum rather than Bitcoin's declining dominance, which is par for the course at this stage of the SCI, the ETF movements between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the price action. So it was clear that it had begun in the second quarter. This coincides nicely with the current phase of the cryptocurrency market's transition away from Bitcoin's supremacy and toward high-quality alternatives. This is in contrast to the dash for trash market that occurred in 2021 when stimulus checks were being distributed. Rather, it is a run of high-quality alts. So that's about it for me. When we discuss the high-quality alternative season, I'm interested to hear about your thoughts on the following topics: projects that generate revenue, projects that captivate attention but don't necessarily bring in any money, and of course, Sui Solana. Hyperlick is clearly one of these projects, and Hina is another. Could you tell me who you are, what you have in mind for the next stage, and the tokens that will be involved? Yeah, I appreciate how you've condensed it into a simple illustration of what's important. These protocols are inherently powerful because they have cash flows, usage, utility delivery, and incredibly strong tokenomics. The market is fairly rewarding the small number of those who have achieved this. I've long had the belief that fundamentals will play an increasingly larger role as the asset class expands and the level of sophistication of the marginal new investor increases for the longest time. And it seems like that's happening. I mean, you brought up the fact that super liquid companies generate so much cash that they could easily keep a NASDAQ 100 firm afloat in terms of growth and multiples. I get that we aren't comparing apples to apples, but Hyperliquid is selling at a sales multiple that would place it in the middle of tech stocks in the SP. On the other hand, it's the DeFi protocols, high quality tokens, and L1s that isn't G owing away. So yeah, those are the things that will attract attention. Memes will very certainly remain. We can discuss this later on as the Doge ETF starts tomorrow, but I'm seriously considering taking a stake in a meme. What makes it fascinating is that it will have launched by the time this comes out. Yes, I was planning to include that one in my note. Therefore, I don't think so. I believe the market is far more selective and the widespread rally is not visible. For want of a better phrase, we are still in the early phases of this sort of expansion. Nevertheless, the rally will be of a discerning kind until the very end, when there will be temporary pumps. In addition to tiny caps, genuine tiny caps that do not yet have a product market fit and will not begin operations. I have that on my list for when the market is at its height. Plus, we aren't present. Therefore, you were able to hear it clearly. Be on the lookout for that. You need to keep an eye out for instances where logic breaks down and initiatives that aren't contributing anything valuable are experiencing exponential growth. During this cycle, we have come a long way from then. There are many who think that describes at least part of what's happening with Pump Fund. In my opinion, that is going to be short-lived. There's no genuine activity taking place there. It appears to be nothing more than a liquidity extraction. That's all it is, a diversion. We're referring about the same small cap enterprises that went nuts in 2021. We must also consider the Federal Reserve and other foreign central banks, yet it is equally conceivable that this will not occur. Money is being printed even now. Additional reductions in interest rates are still on their plans. Keeping that in mind is crucial, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's fairly obvious what this means for the future of the cryptocurrency sector. More individuals will buy cryptocurrencies if interest rates are decreased, liquidity increases, and money circulates more freely. Also, we need to keep an eye, take a significantly more pessimistic view on policy, and decide not to print any more money. Because of that, we will be able to anticipate when to conduct certain tasks. If you would want to receive daily updates and mentions of everything I do in the markets, as well as my comments on your desktop or mobile device, just let me know. My crypto trading group is open to anyone. You can witness my every move in real time because I post them to the best free crypto trading club on the planet. Signing up was a breeze. Simply visit my exchange, levycryptocrusaders.com, and sign up for BTCC using my link. When you join up, make a deposit, and input your name, email, and exchange user ID, you'll be able to access my Discord and Telegram through this link. Put it to use with whichever method suits you best. Because that is where the true magic takes place. I can't wait to see you all there. I record all of my transactions there. This is the method by which we reliably achieve monthly increases of 100 to 400%. To show your appreciation, please hit the like button. Until then, I'll see you all again. Leave this world in peace.